I have to pee. I have to pee. Not literally right now, because that'd be a huge problem and complete poor planning on my part. But have you guys ever wondered, when you hear the phrase, I have to pee, you associate it with going to the bathroom or for a toilet. We all could agree that when you hear the terms, I have to pee, it's something you say internally or something you vocalize out loud. We all can agree when somebody does the potty dance, little kids are going around, that is when somebody super duper duper has to pee. And we all sing the dance, we all know it, we all have done that, and we all have our own version for it. It's a universal sign of having to go to the bathroom. And lastly, would you guys all agree that using the bathroom is an essential part of our daily routine? So, first thing, when a normal, typical person has to use the restroom, now that I've been talking about it, I'm pretty sure somebody in this audience right now has to use the restroom. The first thing you guys are going to do, right, is go look for a bathroom. You might go into the restroom, you might judge it. Is it clean? Is it not clean? If it's not to your standards, you probably walk out and go find something else. So when we look for a bathroom, you come in. But you know what? There's something very specific that ladies do that men don't. And the thing is, I will not step foot into a men's bathroom because they're fully disgusting, and I don't know what's wrong with that. So back to us ladies. When we go into the bathroom, it's like choosing a door, all right? It's like the Price is Right game, but it's the bathroom edition. What's behind door number 1? What's behind door number 2? What's behind door number 3? And guess what? We all win the same thing. A toilet, if we're lucky, toilet paper. Depending on your state, toilet seat covers, and a door for privacy. But what if I told you today that my talk here tonight, it's about creating an idea, creating a new movement, a movement where the children with disabilities are able to be supported. I'm talking about sensory-supported bathrooms. Now, a lot of you guys might be thinking, what is sensory-supported bathrooms? Where is this lady going with this particular talk? You see, children with disabilities, they have a hard time with loud noises, and they have a hard time adapting. And when I talk about a child with disabilities, I'm talking about a broad population. ADHD, autism, cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, cancer patients, diabetics. And normally, as a normal, typical person, when you guys have to look for a bathroom, you guys are going to the bathroom, you wash your hands, and then it's all like back to business, right? But when a child with disability does that, it might look a little different than what you guys are normally used to. It looks a little bit, when a child says it, and remember that I'm going to be talking about my son, Rohan Bendale. He is severely autistic and has a hard time communicating. So sometimes when these children, especially with autism, some of them may or may not be vocal. So they use a communication board, or they might express in a different way that they have to pee. Now, I'm a mother of not only one, not only two, not only three of children with disabilities. You guys, my house is really stressful, but it's a lot of fun with so much joy. But when a child with disability says, I have to pee, that mom or dad or that loved one is not going to be like, woohoo, let's go to the bathroom. It's more like going to be like, really? Right now? I just put everything away, or we just got to this event. So as they state, I have to pee, we then have to, get all of our supplies. And on this particular slide, I might be missing one or two, but this is about an average of how much supplies I take into the restroom. Then, just like everybody else, we look for the bathroom. But when we go looking for a bathroom, it's like we're praying really hard that there's no lines. Because a lot of these kids can't, wait in lines. Heck, some of the adults can't even wait in line, right? And then as they're waiting in line, it's like they're going to start hearing what we call a tornado. And a lot of you are probably wondering, a tornado? really, where is this lady really going with this? And a tornado sounds just like the hand dryer. It's very loud, and it's really triggering for a lot of these kids. And this is even before we get into the bathroom. And as we're walking down the bathroom, then we're going to hit what we call the hurricanes. The hurricanes is the water faucets going on and off, all random times. And as we walk down that bathroom, continuing taking our children down, we're going to hear what we call volcanoes. Volcanoes now erupt at any given time, just like the toilets. The toilets go on and off, and comes in. And I'm not sure exactly why, but the handicapped bathroom is usually all the way at the very end, and usually taken because, just like the Price is Right game, right, us ladies, we like to have the bigger bathroom. We've all been there, and that's okay. But now I'm standing with my son in what we call like a triple storm. Hearing the volcanoes go off, hearing the hurricanes, hearing those noises. And the thing is that we're also not anticipating the sense of smell. The sense of smell is something that we generally forget about, but it's a big trigger for a lot of us. And when we're in the bathrooms, it's like what comes out of our mouths, what comes down from underneath, and everything in between. And sometimes even the sprays and the colognes that people put in as they're leaving. And this is we haven't even gotten into the stall yet. Now, we finally are in the stall. And now the battle begins. How many things do we have to take out? We have to take out our stool. Then we take out our luggage. We take everything out, put the kid on the toilet, put the kid back into the wheelchair to walk right back out that bathroom. And guess what? You've walked in with a trigger child, you have walked out with a trigger child, and a very exhausted mom. It'd be really weird if my 6'2", extremely handsome husband came into my bathroom, into the ladies' bathroom, because it would be like peeping Tom, because he's so tall. So a lot of the times when we're going in, it's like we're doing this alone. And for families like me, we don't generally talk about this. A lot of the times we go to the car to change them. And sometimes when it's so triggering and it's such a big meltdown, guess what? We pack up and we go home. So my argument for you today, and this is what happens to me every single time I go to the bathroom with my son Rohan. Now some of you might be thinking, well, what about the headphones? What about the silence canceling headphones? Well, guess what? A lot of these kids don't like them on their face, and sometimes they throw it in areas that I don't want to touch. And we're wasting a lot of money on them. And a lot of the times it's easier for us just to go home because it's familiar. I have the support. And imagine, I'm only doing this with one of my child. Imagine I have to take all three into the restroom. It's a lot more silent struggles than we think. So my argument here today is something unique. It's about making a movement, about giving the support for that percentage of children that do have disabilities. It's about having some other stuff. So 1 in 36 children will be diagnosed with autism. 1 in 36. It's a large number. According to the CDC, 1% of the entire world's population has already been diagnosed with autism. 1% of the entire world's population. It's a lot. That's not including the population of Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, diabetics. That number rises super, super quick. In the early 2000s, there's the bathrooms that we're talking about. So my argument today is, if you're in construction, if you are in design, if you are building a new building, let's support that 1% of the population. Let's support them in ways where families like me are able to go back to the event that we're on hand instead of going home. Here we show where the lights are dimmed, the bathrooms, the flushings is quiet, an adult-sized changing table, a stool for parents if they need to, and obviously a door so we're able to have the children in more confinement. Now, in the early 2000s, we had a really big movement, the gender-neutral bathrooms. You're seeing this go across the nation, airports, movie theaters, they're all moving towards this gender-neutral bathrooms. And this has only been around for 14 years. And it's making bold moves across the nation. So here today, I'm actually trying to create a new movement, a movement for that percentage that is rising, and to get them feeling loved, heard, and supported. Now, some of you might think, well, we have family bathrooms, but do we really? They're really hard to find if we are. And sometimes at airports, there's the one family bathroom, and guess what? It's like all the way on the other side, and you can't find it, you know? And a lot of these kids, they spend 70% of their days in schools. And even school districts nationwide does not have bathrooms to support these children. So my talk today is to really emphasize getting these sensory supported bathrooms throughout the nation. Here's my family, comes in, and I understand that you guys might not be in the correct headspace right now. You guys are probably wondering, how does this work? And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. What I'm doing today is for you to build an awareness, to understand that families like mine have a lot of these silent struggles that come with it. We don't want to go home, but sometimes we do. I'm going to leave you with this. There's two things. One, when you hear the version, I have to pee, and the next time you go to the bathroom, listen for those hurricanes. Listen for those tornadoes. Listen for those volcanoes. But also notice the lack of children with disabilities that are not in those bathrooms because they're not made for them. The second thing I want to leave you today is when you say, I have to pee, it's more than just a bodily function. It's dignity. It's respect. It's understanding and having sympathy for that population that's so often overlooked. It's about creating a movement to help these children and or adults feel included. So for a lot of people, going to the restroom is just a normal thing to do. But for families like mine, it's a complete journey. Thank you.